Cigar lovers know the only place to go is the Tinderbox. The best selection and always something new for hand-rolled cigars and humidors too. Nobody knows cigars like we do. The Tinderbox is gonna satisfy you. Cigar lovers know the only place to go is the Tinderbox. Talking about the Tinderbox.
Welcome to Tinderbox Buffalo How To Series Episode 1, How to Cut a Cigar. We're going to go through the basics on the types of cigar cutters, some of them, how to cut a cigar, make sure you don't cut too much off the cap. Go through some of the basics on how to cut a cigar for those of you who are new in the hobby. Maybe some of you have been around the block a few times and maybe need a couple pointers. First thing I want to say is the way to cut a cigar is how you feel comfortable cutting a cigar. There is no right way, there is no wrong way to cut a cigar. It's all about your enjoyment of the hobby and your enjoyment of cigars. Don't let anybody ever tell you you're doing something wrong. Unless, of course, you're just mangling the cigar, then yeah, maybe take a little advice. But there's no right or wrong method for cutting a cigar. Some people prefer a straight guillotine cutter. Some people prefer a V cutter, which kind of cuts a notch in the cigar. You can take it one step further and actually cut two notches in like a V pattern, or an X pattern, rather, V pattern, an X pattern, and do two V cuts. That opens up more air channels. A little pro tip for you. There's also a punch cutter, which basically punches a hole in the cigar. Most manufacturers, in fact, probably all of them, recommend that you straight guillotine cut the cigar because you open up more air channels. The cigar is going to, it's going to flow a little better. You're going to get a better draw out of it. You're going to be able to get more air through the cigar. You're going to be able to taste it better. Also, it's a better chance of you being able to keep it lit if you open up all the air channels. A V cut is okay. A punch cut, in my opinion, kind of constricts it a little bit, but it preserves the cap. So, sometimes if you're, afraid of cutting off too much out of your cigar or, really just, destroying it, some people are more comfortable with the punch cutter. I'm going to show you today how to properly guillotine cut the cigar and where to cut it so you don't cut too much off. Let's go to camera 2. We've got a wonderful cigar here for you guys today, the Romeo y Julieta Reserva Real. It's the Robusto size. And I chose this one because it's got a really, really well-defined cap. Now, if you don't know what I'm saying when I say cap, it's the top of the cigar. It's basically, when the cigar's rolled, the cap kind of holds things together. That's why if you cut too far down, the cigar will start to unravel on you. You really challenge the structural integrity of the cigar if you cut too much off of it. Let me show you where the cap is. The cap is right here. This line, that's the cap. That's the line that you don't want to cross. You don't want to cut farther down than that on that cigar, or you're going to challenge the structural integrity of the cigar. You just want to, as I like to put it, nip the tip. You just want to take a little bit off. If you cut too much off of your cigar, again, it's going to start to unravel on you. It's going to get nasty. Sometimes it'll still smoke because sometimes just the wrap will come off and the binder's still fine, which is holding the filler. So sometimes you can still muddle through, but you definitely don't want to. A cigar smoking experience should be a wonderful, relaxing experience, and there's nothing worse than sitting there and struggling with the cigar to keep it lit. I'm going to grab this the cigar off of here, off of the little ashtray there, and here it is. This is the Reserva Real I had in the ashtray there, and I'm going to go ahead and cut it and smoke it. There's an easy way to cut it if you don't want to, just eyeball it and cut it. You can actually put your cutter down on like a flat surface on a table and open the cutter up. The cigar should go through it onto the table, and you can snip it that way. Kind of, let me hold it up here. kind of like this. You'd have the cutter on the table, and you can use it like this, and that way you're not going to cut too much off the cigar. All you want to do is just line the cigar up here. Let me get with the camera here, and nip the tip off of it. If you don't do a great job, like I didn't do here, there's still a little bit left there. I would probably still smoke that, but if you want to clean it up, you can clean it up. You can actually take your cutter here and perform minor surgery just on the little bit of it here, just on that side, maybe a little bit right here on this side. And now see, I performed a little bit of surgery on it. Just was careful, and I just nipped the little bit off that I still had on there. One of the things I like to do when I cut it, especially with a guillotine cut, is, you know how you cut the cigar, you stick it in your mouth, and then you get a bunch of little tobacco bits in your mouth, and you're trying to pull them out of your mouth or spit them out. I just take my finger and I just kind of run it over the cigar a little bit, maybe even blow it off, and it should take those little tobacco bits off of it. A little pro tip for you, so that way you're not getting those little bits of tobacco in your mouth. And then it's once I cut it, at that point I put it in my mouth. Don't lick your cigar all the way around. I see people licking their cigar up, and then they take their cutter, usually one that they borrowed from the shop or borrowed from a friend, and then cut their cigar with it. Don't do that. Not only does it, can spread disease, but it's rude. Don't lick your cigar all up and then cut it, unless you're using your own cutter. Then do whatever the heck you want. But if you're using a shared cutter, don't lick your cigar all up before you use somebody else's cutter.